another couple joke. They go over so well. A couple have been married for a long time. And one night, the wife woke up and she saw that her husband wasn't in bed with her. And she heard this kind of crying. She went downstairs, and there her husband was sitting in the kitchen. And she says, "Darling, what's the matter?" He says, "Oh, I remember when I met you and you were 16. Oh, and I remember when we made love for the first time in the back of my car." She pats his hand and she thinks, "That's so sweet of us, darling, that's just lovely. And I remember when your father stuck the shotgun in my face and said that I had to marry her or he sent me to jail for 20 years. She says, "That's okay, darling. Why are you crying?" He says, "I could have been out today." It's really kind of a bad joke. This next one is another old couple. Pete and Maura. Maura's dying. And Pete wants to get everything kind of ready for her, make sure everything's in order. And she's had this little wooden box all their married life. He's never really paid any attention to it. But he thought he'd better look into it and make sure that nothing important in it. So he opens it up, and there's these two lovely doilies at £82,500. So he asks Maura about this situation, and Maura says, "Well, my mother gave me that box on the day we were married. And she told me to make a doily, to tat a doily every time you and I have an argument, or you upset me in any way." And he thinks, that is so sweet. There's only two doilies here, and we've been married for all these many years. He says, "Well, what about the £82,500? And she says, "Well, that's what I got for selling the doilies." See, the women, they know, they're not going to laugh quite so loud, but they know. You're not going to find their little wooden boxes anywhere. This one's about horse racing. Now, Murphy likes to play the horses, and he's always losing. And one day he's gone to the racetrack, and he sees at the stables there's a priest blessing a horse. And sure enough, that horse that he blessed comes in first by 2 leagues. So Murphy keeps watching, and sure enough, every day that the priest comes and blesses a horse, that horse comes in first. So Murphy goes to the bank, takes out all his money, goes and puts it on the horse that the priest has blessed. And of course, the horse comes in dead last. So Murphy goes to the priest and says, "I don't understand." And the priest said, "Well, you must be a Protestant that you can't tell the difference between a blessing and the last rites."